think that means we're live.
I think so.
You think so? Welcome to Monday, March 13th here. Beer Money Pulling Team. Ryan Zulik, my name is Jason Schultz. We're happy to be here. We had no snow on the ground yesterday in Richland Center, Wisconsin. Now we have 4 or 5 inches of snow again. So,
yes.
And I think the whole the whole country's kind of experienced the wind that we had last week. I had a 120-foot tall pine tree get blown down in my yard, and my neighbor texted me and says, "You can have your tree back, Jason. We have enough of our own."
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we got missed out by the tornadoes just south of us in Illinois. We just had the high winds.
Yeah,
and,
I'll take
we had
high winds over tornadoes every
last
day.
week. I believe we had thunderstorms, and then it snowed a little bit the next day. Then it was back in the 50s, and then now we've had this another snowstorm the week later. So a little bit of everything in March. And, of course, if you're from Wisconsin, you know it's going to snow because it's state basketball weeks. So
absolutely. That's what goes on. So excited about the show tonight. Marty Wilson hooked us up with, we think it's Joe Eder, right? Because I've heard announcers say Eder or Eder, but we think it's Eder. That's the first thing we're going to ask him is, how do you say his last name?
Yeah, I'm sure he gets asked that all the time.
Hey, you're the champion of the modified world in the PPL side. What's your last name? How do you say your last name?
Yes. No. That's always, I guess, a good thing to make sure to say his name right.
Going to talk to Will Whitt tonight from, I believe he's from Virginia. I've been kind of getting to know him via Facebook. I met him in Gordyville 2016, and he's been looking for ways to promote. Has a really good YouTube page, takes really good photos. I saw that he was out at Keystone a little bit as well.
I got to talk to him a couple weeks ago, or actually probably like a month ago. I think you were out in Cancun, I think, or maybe down in Phoenix, one of the two.
And we're trying to get him set up with a live show as well, just the more we can do to keep promoting. And we're going to bring on a gentleman I've never talked to before, Gabe Strother. He's from, it's called Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, and that's an ABAC. And they have that tractor, they have that Alice, what's it called? Altered Alice. And they built that for their school, and they're having their benefit poll coming up March 23rd through the 25th in Tifton, Georgia. So kind of branched out a little bit. And then in our world up here, I guess, in the Midwest, the Cornhusker Classic is 2 weeks away now.
Yes, that's been coming up very fast. That kind of ends the indoor polling season, right?
Yes, it does.
For the bigger
for the bigger associations, yes. I'm pretty sure, because Keystone was last weekend. Yes. And that's the one thing I really noticed about. We are really Midwest focused with our show. It's because that's kind of where we pull. Those are the people we know. Those are our connections. So there was an attempt this week to kind of reach out and, with Marty saying he could get a hold of Joe, and Joe is willing to come on and do an interview. And then definitely been talking to Will a lot the last 6 months, trying to get him going with stuff. He's real busy with his job. That's what I wish I could devote a full time to all this and keep up with all the ideas we have and different things like that. So we want to know where you're watching from tonight, what's going on in your life, and we want to know when you have questions for Joe. And, that is one of those names, Joe Eder.
Yeah,
Lane, John Klug, you know what I mean? Boyd's. It's one of those names. I can't think. Burge. You know what I mean? All the big names of polling. So I really want to thank Marty Wilson for hooking us up with him, and it'll be a great interview. And you, as the fans, that's what's great about that. They get to ask about that. Robbie Fagundes, our resident California mini rod puller. Him and I have emailed Jay Leno's producers about trying to get Jay Leno to come on to Let's Grow Polling and talk about his ride in the mini.
Yeah, because his show will be coming out probably in the fall season when it comes back around.
So we may not get to talk to him until then.
Yeah.
Robbie had a great idea to reach out to him and do that. So I'm really, really excited about that. So if you're watching the show right now, we're gonna get Joe on the phone. Please share this on your timelines. While Ryan calls Joe, I want to thank our Let's Grow Polling sponsors again. Joe Bush Ag Repair, Fair Valley Performance, Dennis Fry will be coming on the show soon. Illini State Pullers, Hawthorne Tire and Curing, the ITPA, which is the Illinois Tractor Pulling Association, and of course Showdown in Kurztown, Doug Borth and the promoter up there at Ellsworth, Wisconsin. So those are our Let's Grow Polling sponsors, and you see a lot of their pages on our Facebook page throughout the week, and they have bought that right for us to promote them. That's the deal we're making, and it gives us some gas money this summer to get around and take care of all the pictures we want to do there. So if you want to get Joe on the phone, but again, we're going to call Joe Eder, excuse me. See, I even say it wrong sometimes too. So let's talk to him now. See what he's got going on. I got some pictures of his up there in the thing. So.
Yes. And I think the snow is moving towards them in New York. So.
Hello,
Joe. This is Jason Schultz with the Beer Money Polling Team. How are you, Sue?
Hey, how's things tonight?
Good. Hey, thank you for doing this. This is awesome to talk to a legend in the polling world, and I really, really appreciate it. So the first question I have for you, Joe, I've heard announcers say your name Eder, and I've heard announcers say your name is Eder. How do you say Joe's last name?
Just pronounce it with an A, Eder.
Joe Eder. See? You know how many people? Do you know how many people we just made happy, Joe? A lot. So tell us what it is like to be Joe Eder.
Hey, it's just it's great. You know, you work hard, you surround yourself with good people, and you make good decisions. You can have a great life. You know, and it's I got good people working for me. I got good wife at home taking care of my little Joe, and you know, everybody does their part, and it makes a great life. You know, but it's busy, and you know, 3 businesses, and you know, it's just a lot going on all the time. But you know, we dug our own ditch, and we're enjoying it.
Yes, you are. Well, first of all, I got to pick on you a little bit about how you pick your friends. That Marty Wilson guy you're hanging out with, he's a little skeptical, but he said you're all right. So I don't know. How do you actually like Marty, or is it just a ploy?
Oh no, he's Marty's first class. Him and his girl Kathy, they're just wonderful people, and do anything for you. Just would not be as far as I am in Poland without them kind of people, because they're just good, you know. Bill Leichner introduced me to him a long time ago, and you know, we've just been friends a long time. They're just good people. You know, it's fun when you leave here. You drive 12 hours, meet up with all these good people, and you hang out for a weekend, and you beat the heck out of parts, and go home and fix it.
Yeah, absolutely. The life of a modified tractor puller. So where do you live in New York at?
We're 25 miles south of Buffalo.
Okay.
We're right in line for 18 to 24 inches of snow tonight, and we're excited. We've had 60-degree days, and it's winter needs to be here. So let's get it done and over with, and we can have a great spring.
Yeah, no, we hadn't had any snow for 2 weeks, and we got 4 to 5 inches last night. My kids were mad because they thought for sure we'd have school canceled tomorrow or this morning, but they only had a 2-hour delay. So I told them they stayed up too late. That was their own fault. So
that's right.
18 to 24 inches. Is that I remember Adam Drought always talking about up in Buffalo. Is that lake effect snow that you get?
Yeah, the lake is wide open. It's sitting there with no ice on it, so with conditions right and moisture right, it could dump, you know, 3-4 feet with no problem, and not think anything about it. We had some really good winds here the other day, and that really, you know, that was our first experience of 100-mile-per-hour winds. You know, and you know, we were in I'd say high 60, 70 mile per hour in our area, and 40 miles to our east, they got up into the hundreds. So a lot of damage in the area. You know, it's the guys in the west can have their tornadoes, and we'll take our snowstorms.
Yeah, no, absolutely, agreed, 100%. So tell me about what Joe does when he's not tractor pulling. You said you have 3 different businesses. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, you know, we're real excited right now about starting mulch. You know, we ran some already. We're going to get busy here and produce probably around 45,000 yards of mulch, and deliver that to all different kinds of nurseries and local landscapers here within about a 30-mile radius. And so that keeps us pretty busy. And then, you know, we do our farming. You know, that starts up in about the middle of May, our custom harvesting, where we go into different farms and, you know, do their crops for them and stuff. And then, you know, we grow our own crops with racing and stuff. So there's always something going on. You know, when May hits in June, it gets very busy around here. But, you know, it's what we're bred to do, and that's what we do. You know, we're good under pressure. And like I said, I can't thank my family and friends enough that jump in and support us and, you know, make this big, long dream come true.
Absolutely. So, and you are, and I know you're a very, very humble guy, but you are a legend in the pulling world. And the commitment that you make living in New York to run a Champions Tour and get out and do all that, what is the average length, time-wise, that you travel to a pull in the summer, do you think?
I would say usually right at, you know, 9 to 10 hours pretty much every weekend, you know, which is 11 miles from us. So, you know, that's it's finally one, you know, a bonus for us. But, you know, it's tough. You know, Stan Shelton and I are the guys that travel the furthest. You know, he's out of New London, North Carolina, and I'm up here out of Hamburg, New York, you know. So it's a long ways to Henry, Illinois, and Wheatland, Missouri, and
Hillsboro,
Tennessee,
Hillsboro, Wisconsin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's about 25 miles north of our house from where I'm talking to you right now. So that's where Richland Center is, where I live. So.
Yeah.
Well, good. So let's talk about. I want to talk about Joe Eder and how you got started in pulling. Can you kind of just start from the beginning and where it grew to today and how it, just tell us your story, Joe. I want all the pulling fans out there to know how Joe started and how Joe got to where he is today.
28 years ago, I've always been the one in the sandbox playing with toys, and it just basically started out with a single engine and pulled that, around the state of New York and just into southern Pennsylvania a little bit, just totally a shoestring budget, barely had enough money to even, afford to go, but again, good family and parents to support me and not financially, but always there to moral support, good brothers, and it just made the money didn't matter when you had that kind of support behind you and pushing you. So, it's, that was good, and, so went with a Economout, and then, I believe we went with a twin engine. We have to ask Dan Mayer. He knows everything about what everybody's got going on. He's a wealth of knowledge, encyclopedia, but then, worked their way up into the blowing Chevrolets, and Kenny Neminger took me down to in Wayne Butts, took me down into the Tennessee, and we brought Bob Moore's tractor back with basically 2 big block Chevys on, and eventually with 3, and that was the start of it there, where we really, started to have some good power and, finally won our first event after, I believe, about 4 years of pulling at this point. And, so it just got hooked on it and really just kept going. At that point, made a decision just to kind of keep moving, and talked to Tim Engler, and Tim set me up with a real nice frame, 3-motor, 4-motor, 5-motor combination, and Butch Westfall, good friend of mine, loaned me 2, supercharged Chevrolets, and I put my 3 on there, so we had 5, and it, again, just where the wind blew us is where we went. We had no idea where we were going, what we were doing, just having a lot of fun, and, as time went on, I got hooked up with Dave and Ralph Finger. It was, just a really good friendship thing, and Ralph built me a frame. We built it down there at his shop, and it was a really kind of a cool deal because we pulled for 2 years, and really started to get a handle on things, and felt like we were starting to come around pretty good. And 96 and 97 is when the Banner Brothers quit, 1996, and Ralph went on the road with me for basically 2 full years, and you really learned how to tractor pull with that boy because that's all you did and that's all you talked about, So we had a lot of fun, and in '97 I captured the first NPPA title. That was a really special deal. And then we, I believe 2002 or 3, we picked up our next one then, with NPPA and so it just, and the competition just, as all the years went on, just kept getting steady, stronger and stronger. And, ATPA came in the mix. We ran with them. Bill Leishner, Brian Diekman, Scott Tedder, we've always had, us guys out there that always kind of, went out and tried different organizations. And now, like with Lucas, Oil Series, monthly run right now, that they all have something really cool to offer, we enjoy the TV exposure and stuff with the Lucas Oil Series where, NTPA, they got their pluses and minuses, and we really enjoy the NTPA also. We're going to campaign the new mini block here this year a little bit with NTPA and, run some of their events. And in the big tracks, obviously, we'll go with the Lucas Oil Series. So, so it's plenty to go around and plenty of places to go, but a lot of good places, people on both sides.
So how many? How many total years have you been able to? Have you been pulling? How many total years?
I'll be 28 this year.
Okay. So what would you say is your favorite era of pulling? Would it have been the 80s, the 90s, or present time? What would be your favorite time?
After this year, after winning that deal and how it came down, and pulling's turned into a huge business now. It's very serious. You really got to have your stuff together to be a contender now out there. So you take a year like this was really special. I would say, the funnest times, if you were out to just have a good time and enjoy the company and just eat, drink, and be merry, be back in just at the end of the TNT days, where I got to know the Phil Pattersons, the Knoxes, the Banner brothers, John Powell, Fred Freeman. I really, really miss that group of guys. I look every one of them as heroes. It's that was good pulling there. Indoors, with SRO Pace, TNT Motorsports. I just caught the edge of that. Where we just ran a very little bit of that. I wish we could have maybe spent, I hate to be older, but, if we were back in that era a little bit, we could have ran with them guys some, and it's kind of unique, I sit and look at this, Bill Leichner and honestly, Donnie, Wayne Sullivan are the only two that go through that era of the TNT and, go through the ATPA, and always NTPA has always been there for them guys, and now the Lucas Oil. So, them are definitely the legends, I think, in the sport now. It's just kind of neat. And it's good that I was involved to see all this, and makes me really appreciate, where we are today. The sport's turned into money, and it's tough. Everybody said, "Oh, Joe, you're a good driver. You'll be okay." Well, the old driver here, you can't win all the time when the guys, are also good drivers and then put a lot of good parts and good money in the machines, So it's, it's definitely changed. It's more challenging now. We're still having fun. That's when the fun's out of it, I'm done. I've paid my dues, and I'm to the point where we can do something else. We can go boating, So, but I just right now we're still having fun, But that question though, I'd have to go back to 1997 there. We won our first national title with NPPA. That was just a really special year off. So, I guess every year has always had something good, to offer, and you just always try to, make something good out of something and move on.
No, that's great. That's great. Hey, Bob Boyd wants us to talk about the mini rod. So let's talk about the mini rod. So it seems to be mini rods are. I call it the Bronco riding or the bull riding of the tractor pulling world. The mini rods, and Boyd's have one now, and I know Jim Shaendorf, he's a former diesel super stock puller. He has one now. We had Tyler Slaw on the show last week after he stuffed it into the sand and Eaton, Ohio. And the mini rods, it really, I've been banging the diesel truck drum, Joe, because I feel like there's not as many family farms as there used to be, and kids aren't growing up on the farm, and they're not taking the 1066 or the D21 or the 4020 to the fair and turning the pump up or anything like that. But Bob said I was just answering Stacy. They're commenting on Facebook while we're talking to you, Joe. But the diesel trucks, the diesel trucks seem to be like something that was really, really popular because every kid's got a diesel truck now with a stack sticking out the hood or the stack sticking out the back. But it just seems like mini rods are gaining in popularity, and it just seems like we're seeing a lot of them out there now. And I know, in Europe and different things like that. What made you decide to get a mini rod?
I've been friends a long time with the Europeans, and they're just really nice people. I told them a long time ago, I'd be interested in buying one of their frames. And, or one of their complete units, and this was the year it came along. And, I think it's cool what they do. They send one over once a year. Give it to, I think, still hands down the best driver out there is Bill Leichner. Give it to him and let him iron out the problems. Him and Jed and, the family and Bob Boyd, they can just really make things come together quickly, so that's cool. And then at the end of the season, they always throw it out there. It's available. If somebody wants to buy it and they get a new technology, new ideas, new motor Brian Knox, and they put another tractor out. So it's a perfect win-win situation for all them guys. And, plus it's making very competitive, pulling over here with them guys, that class is tight, and it's, I just think it's cool. You can literally push the thing around with one hand, it's 2,000 pounds, pretty neat, and I feel like this thing, I took it to a car show last week, and, you grab a hold of it, you can literally pick the thing off the ground, but it only weighs a ton. So, it's just fun, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna, I told the guy here tonight, in the shop, we're going to pull it some, going to enjoy it, have some fun, campaign, some advertisement with it, but I can't lose the concentration on the big tractor again because, that's where all the marbles count there. That's what we do. And, but, this year, this will keep me involved and, get me out to a couple other shows, I can go to, I like Chapel Hill and places like that. And, if we're available to go that weekend, I'm probably going to go down and campaign and have some fun and run against all the good Kesters and all those guys in Sloz. It's like hands down, them guys are awesome. It's, you don't make yourself good until you run against the best, and them guys are definitely the best. It's really exciting to go to Cloverdale, get a third place with this new tractor, come home. Best part of the weekend, Larry Kester's boy, and congratulating him and telling him how well his dad and him done. Just been pulling the Kesters forever, not the same class, but just known them. So it's just cool, and the Sloths are just, wow, ball of fire, them guys are good, and it, so, it's another new challenge, but again, I'm trying not to get spread thin, and, it's currently building a lift right now for my trailer to put the gator in the top of the trailer, and the mini mod goes on the floor, and so that'll work with some of our Lucas Oil shows. We can run them at the same place, so Cardi Wilson's going to help me good stuff. And at the end of the year, I'm going to find a couple shows for him to play around with and get his feet wet, introduce Pullen in the second, another, rookie driver will come in and, give him a chance at it a little bit. Just everybody's got to have some fun and enjoy it,
Absolutely. 100% agree with you on that. And that's one thing I want to thank you about. It seems like we see the Geico, your modified, and the mini rod now, like in Gainesville, Florida, and was it at Daytona or Talladega or something like that last year, Joe?
Yeah, Talladega. They chose not to do, they're cutting out of motorsports more and more. They're going to put more family kiddie games in there, which is fine. It's their decision. But, God, when we get 67% of the press walking to the Geico booth and directly from the for or just looking at it, I just thought, wow, that is really good marketing. And to get that email from them guys saying that they're going to, change their footprint, I just thought, wow, it's not a mistake. They're corporate. They definitely got it figured out, but it's just a little disappointing, and it's tough for me. It's the time of the year when my companies are all rolling hard, and I need to be here managing and being hands-on, and to take 5-6 days off to go clear to Talladega and do this. It was an honor, but yet at the same time, it cost me a bunch of money to do that too. So,
oh, absolutely.
But any way I can promote the sport and move it forward in market, our sponsors on board, I'll do whatever it takes to do that. So, it's one thing about the other.
Did we lose Joe?
Yeah, it was cutting in and
Yeah,
out pretty
he's
well.
been kind of going in. Maybe the snowstorm's affecting his cell phone signal.
Yeah, we'll try maybe calling him back.
Joe, are you there?
Yep, I hear you.
Okay, yeah, you've been kind of going in and out on us the last couple of minutes, and you went away for a little bit. So, must be the big snowstorm coming in, screwing up your cell phone signal.
Yeah,
But
I hear you fine.
okay, great. So Stacy Butts on a mini rod puller here in Illinois wants to know does Joe have room in the present trailer for the mini? And yeah, I think he must have missed you when you said you're building. You said you have like a stacker trailer, right? You're putting the gator on the top and you do a lift. How do you explain that?
Yep. Yeah, that's currently building the lift here for it right now. Is they put the mini rod on the floor and our support vehicle in the ceiling and the big tractor in the back.
Awesome. Can we talk about where do you think the sport is? I mean, do you think the sport's growing? Do you think the sport's leveled off? Do you think it's reached its top because of the money that it costs now to perform in polling? I mean, when people ask me why I do like our show and different things like that and why we show so many videos on our Facebook page and stuff like that, my ultimate goal is just to get more fans in the stands and ultimately drive sponsorship dollars into the sport. I'm 41, Joe, so I grew up in the Redman TNT days and going to the polls and things like that. And it just felt like it was more commercial back then, and that's what I love about the modified class with the PPL, the Champions Tour. You're seeing those big sponsors on that stuff now. I mean, to see a Geico modified on the track, that relates to everybody because Geico's all over television. Just where do you generally think the sport is like today compared to what you've seen it, or what your thoughts are? Or, just kind of give me your theory on that.
After leaving Talladega last year, I thought that we were. I just feel like we're on an upswing and we're still moving up. Both organizations speak highly of both NCPA and Lucasfilm. With the TV they have, they're putting it out there, the exposure for the sponsors. NASCAR, it's sad, but they literally got to have fights or arguments or something like that to draw crowds for the following week. It's I don't think that's not a way you should market things. And I just think that I think we got room for improvements. But I think we definitely have potential to keep moving forward and still keep making better shows. I definitely agree with you. Back in the TNT days. Wow, it was really, really good pulling back then, then I felt like it kind of fell off. Copenhagen School kind of come and gone. And then, and now, we got Lucas Oil, and I just think that's like really huge right now. And, Forrest is very proud of the Lucas Oil family, everybody that's, promoting his products and stuff. And I feel like there's a, big potential there to, still make that bigger. Everybody in the Lucas Oil program, they're always trying to work harder to make a better show and all that. So I don't know. It's tough, watching the sport grow and kind of just hang on there, and then and it's not fake of any kind. But I think it's got potential yet to keep going, but it just, people can only spend so much money, and we definitely can, bring people into a show, for under $20, $25, and, watch a great show, and where you go to NASCAR and HRA, and sadly, it's just a lot of money I just don't think it's, the show they're getting over here and pulling, so, I think there's potential yet to keep going, and I'd like to see it, they always say the next level, but I don't know. I'm pretty content where it's at. I'd like I like the idea of all our big mods, all having corporate sponsors on there, it just makes for a great marketing deal for TV, and,
Yep.
It's very powerful, and it's, it just, that's a good question, and, it's always been a gray area for me because, my heart's in the sport. I love it, but I just, I just feel like it can grow some more. I just don't know what the next phases need to be. It's which direction it needs to go.
Yeah, no, that always seems to be the $1 million question is how is that? So can you talk about bringing Geico on as a sponsor? How did that happen? And what advice would you have to giving a puller at any level how to obtain a sponsor?
Well, it's basically Geico. My deal's through the, our Lucas Oil team, and it's, I gotta just hands out, Mike Chastain and, Jonathan Mears and Christy, they all work together and, they pick and choose who gets what or whatever because it's now it's in my hands where, I do the best job I can for them guys marketing their product and just trying to, I went to a car show last weekend and we had about 13,000 people come through. Wow. A 3-day attendance, so that was really nice, and, it's just, we had the whole corner of the building, and just to be able to market, Warren Buffett's product, it's just a really cool deal, the tractors I think look beautiful. They're all white, and blue, and they stick right out. They look good under the lights at night, But back to your question there, on sponsorships and stuff, I've been at this game a long time, it took national championships, I get people call me once a week, hey, how do you get a big sponsor like that, but it just, unless you get lucky, you got to pay your dues and just, do the many years of, finishing last with great sporting parts, barely hanging in there to get in there to, to have the potential to carry somebody's logo like this, and then, it starts paying off, so it, but again, they help us financially pay for some of our stuff and our parts, but at the same time, we are also working hard to our product, driving to Talladega, sitting in a 3-day car show, this year, wherever they send us, what we got to do, so, it's hand in hand, and everybody's got to work together, there's nothing out there in the world that's free anymore, so, it's, everybody's, you got to take your turn at the barrel, and, it's, when there's handouts there, you can grab them, but at the same time, you got to be willing to pay back.
Yep. So one of the questions we have, Joe, is the difference between the motors on the mini rod and the big mod. Are there, besides the blowers, are they identical motors, or can you tell us about that?
Yeah, they're real close, but Brian Knox has got his own combination for the mini mod, and it's my first tractor vehicle I ever drove with a 1471, and it's like, wow, this thing's pretty cool. It's 3.5 inches longer, it's but it's they're very similar. I believe they're 57-inch motors, and it's this one's got the full Mike Janis blower injector program on it, and my big tractor. I'm a loyal fan to SSI blowers, so I run their blowers and the Mike Janis injector on there. So so it's they're very similar. The Benny heads and the Brad Anderson blocks.
Awesome. How many chassis have you built? Marty Wilson wants to know.
I believe I'm looking at the number now on the wall. It was 93.
93.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's incredible, Joe. That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's very competitive right now. There's a lot of really good people out there that can build really good stuff. And if I put off 100% of my focus on something, I can really good at it. My problem is, again, our first conversation was 3 businesses, now raising a little boy family, just my mind don't want to settle into one spot anymore, and it just, so you know what, it's really nice to take the winter off. We're going to help a couple little local guys here get their stuff together and get ready and help them. I'm here for anybody if they break or need parts or whatever. But, as far as sitting there and banging on doors and price cutting and trading parts for work and all that. Them days are over. I don't need to do it at all. So, just let them guys go out and do their work. And, Jason Hoopman, hands down, perfectionist, great job. Just builds premier pulling parts. Highly recommended. Tim Engler, Brad Corporal, all these guys, they specialize. So here I am as a builder, putting it out to the worldwide radio that, guys, there's great people out there that do the work. Go see them. It's like, come back and enjoy and have a conversation with me, but I'll help you if I can. But I'm just, I'm sick of breathing the dust and, laying under the thing and getting sparks from air pit at night. And, I'm enjoying my pulling right now. I'm enjoying my family. I don't need to work that hard anymore, to do that. So it's good, to get to these points in your life where you don't have to be, pressured to do these things, and it's, so that's some choices we made, and they've been great ones.
So before we let you go, we got to talk about your championship last year. So I watched it kind of all unfold. I have a 4.1 called The Remedy, and we're going to run Silver Series this summer. So I'm actually, we saw you in Hillsboro, and it's excited when we're at a pull with the big modifieds. But so I'm going to see you more this summer, and I'm excited about that. But heading into Wheatland, I mean, basically, if Boyd goes down the track without going out of bounds, it's his championship, right? Because were you 8 points behind, or were you 4 points behind?
I was 10.
You were 10 points.
Spots,
okay.
Yep, so that's 5 spots.
5 spots, 2 points. Yep.
I'd have to. Yeah. So it just it was pretty much just
craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
Well, out of all the mathematical, we'll get that right. But out of all the math equations that you could possibly do, we did not come up with that bounds. In other words, it's like he wasn't supposed to do that. Some guys worked really hard pulling to get a really good crew. Give them a lot of credit. They're good pullers. But
well,
what's that?
No, I was going to say MAV TV. I mean, I think as pullers we need to entertain more. No, I don't think we need to beat somebody up on victory lane like what happened yesterday at that NASCAR race. But I think we need to entertain more. And the way MAV TV did that, the way they played that whole episode, Joe, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal because the look on your face when he went out of bounds, it was absolute disbelief. Absolute disbelief. Like, holy cow, I have a shot at this. And then you just laid down a pass.
Yeah, the poor camera guy at the end is the one that caught all. It's I remember holding the cone. I was next to Book, after Steve, and I looked down through, and it's like, God, he looks like he's out of bounds. And I look back at that, 22-foot huge TV up in the air, and the tractor's over the chalk by 5 inches. So just to ensure myself, did this really happen? I asked this poor camera guy. I said, did he go out of bounds? And, his job is to tape the important people and don't get involved in the technical thing. And then I really asked him, I threw some language in there and to get his attention, and he was just totally, he wasn't ready for all that. And I looked over at John Mears and the clipboard was in the air, oh my God, what just happened? I turned around and, we had other competitors, just high-fiving and going nuts, so it was a really a tough, emotional part of the night because not only, took that man's dreams away or whatever, we were pretty much set to go in there and, take our second place. We went there. I felt good about the entire season because we started out leading a point. We got shuffled back to 6, and then we fought our way back. And, the way things were going, I didn't really not expect to capitalize at Wheatland, with the points race. I was, if we had 1 or 2 more shows, we had a couple of rainouts through the year, and boy, them really hurt us, And when I get my game out, June, late June, July, was when my program always starts to take off and shine. we can usually catch up, or, we've been second and third for quite a few years, we struggled 2 years in a row with blower belts, we learned that, it's just, things you fix and you move on and you just look back on it. You make yourself a better puller. But that deal at Wheatland, that was pretty cool. Definitely Ken Stout, Leslie Mears, just hands down, kick-ass job of just how they explained it. If you did not know anything about pulling and you watched that CBS broadcast show or the Math TV show, you definitely would know what pulling is all about, because they did such a wonderful job, explaining the sport, the wealth of knowledge that they have, when they're doing a talk or an interview. They can just throw extra words in there, and it's just like, wow, where'd that come from? That was great. So, it just, we got good people really doing a good job out there, marketing this. I'm just a lucky one to say that, Geico, that was for you, and definitely all my fans, family, it's very special to have, to fly my brothers into our national banquet and, have them, spend the weekend with us. So, and some family and some friends. So, so it's a lot of people to thank, and, I'm a pretty humble guy when it comes to, I never forgot my grassroots, way back where everything started, and, we all wear our pants the same, so that's what makes me feel like I'm at everybody's same level as everybody, I never felt like I was any better than anybody, so that's what sport is. So, meeting, take what we get, go to the show.
Yep, perfect. Well, Joe, we're going to let you go. I thank you so much for coming on to our show tonight, and I look forward to seeing you this summer. And again, you're a true ambassador of the sport, and we hope you keep enjoying it and having fun, so we keep seeing you on the track. So, good luck with the snowstorm.
Okay.
Good luck with the snowstorm, and I hope you can dig yourself out. How's that?
Okay. Well, I promise you, I'll get out there. I'll get enough air up. We'll get out there. So,
perfect.
But thank you so much. Thanks for everything you do to help promote pulling and make it a very proud sport that we're in.
Okay, awesome, Joe. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
All right, so that was Joe Eder, everybody. Just one of, like we talked about, Ryan, one of the most well-known, names in Pullman. You can't disagree with it one bit. So I wish his cell phone wouldn't have been cutting in and out there like it was, but because what an interview. We've had a lot of great comments on there. I saw Andrew Armstead say, he should be the only interview we have tonight, and you can tell how good of a guy he is. I mean, he's the real deal, and that's what I'm glad. Everybody that's out here promoting pulling and interviewing pullers and all the different groups, all the different organizations, everybody doing it. We're putting more than just a vehicle to a name now. Hopefully, we're putting that face and giving it so you feel like you know them a little bit more next time they pull on the track, Ryan.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that pulling has definitely on the lacking a little bit more, where people might know a vehicle by name, but they don't know the person that's actually driving the vehicle. And that's something that other motorsports have done better. And
that drag racing fan or that NASCAR fan, I think they get a closer feel with a multi-engine modified than they do maybe, say, with a 4.1 Limited Pro or a Pro Stock or Diesel Super, because that's something they can see in the blowers, and it's now, and it's awesome.
And they can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it. It
doesn't matter if you're indoors or outdoors, you feel it.
Or you can hear it 5 miles away.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely how the setting of the location is.
So we're going to try to get Will Whitt on the phone here, and he is a guy I met in Gordyville last year, and he does a real good job with his YouTube page, and is out there. I believe it's Virginia, out on the East Coast. I don't know exactly where he lives. I guess I'm not that good of a friend with him. But we talk a lot on the phone and just looking for different ways, and we're always looking for different ways to to get more exposure. South, east, west. Like I said, we always look at the stats after the show, and our top 10 states are always usually the state that I would say New York's going to do well tonight because of Joe being on. But then it's always Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota. The hub of that Midwest.
And then number 10 always fluctuates because we sometimes get Canada in there. Sometimes we get like a Texas. Sometimes we get a Missouri.
Yep. So let's get Will on the phone and get talking to him. He's working on some stuff. We're trying to get him a show going, kind of a Let's Grow Pulling East Coast edition here. so you can kind of keep us up to date on different things like that. There's a lot of different associations out there. You know, Brandon, our Facebook wizard, came from that Pennsylvania area, and he always talks about, I think it's full FPP, full. Oh, it's a group out there that does. They're not PPL. Full pole productions. Yep, I stumbled on that a little bit, and they have a bunch of poles. And his brother Brock is always videoing and doing different things like that. So, yeah, so excited about all that. So, and then we're also going to do. We're going to get a hold of. We're going to talk to Tifton George into a little bit. Gabe Strother. So,
hello.
Hey, Will, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We're having. Can we hear you? Can you? We got him tuned in better now. Does he sound? Will, can you talk to me a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sounds. What do we do to our cord on my phone?
I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna hang up and we'll call.
We'll
him back.
hang up. We're gonna hang up and call you right back. Hold on a second.
Okay.
What did we do wrong? You think? Man, I pay you so much money, Joel. I can't believe this is happening. Something like this. So, Brick Fight full pole productions. Thank you, Joel. I appreciate that very, very much. So. There, that sounds better already. Hopefully we did this right. Hopefully.
I love technology.
Yeah, I got loved.
See if that's any better.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yep, sounds a lot better. Thank you, Will. Yeah, we had a little problem with Joe's cell phone going in and out a little bit, so I'm not sure. Yeah, is he in a helicopter? Somebody said.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. You were in a helicopter.
Yep. So.
No, that's
And we
fine.
did not have the filter on.
And we did not have the filter on. So what's going on in Will Witt's world? What's shaking out there?
We're busy. We're always busy. I tell people I have a full-time job and a full-time hobby. That's the way I explain it.
No, that's accurate. So where do you actually live? I feel bad. I don't even know where you live.
Okay, I live in Woodbridge, Virginia,
Okay.
which is just south of D.C. by 25 miles. That's the easiest way to explain it.
Awesome. So
So I go to D.C. every day, Monday through Friday.
Okay. So what do you want to do for pulling in your neck of the woods in 2017?
More of the same, basically. We want to keep on growing. Every year, our YouTube channel has grown, our Facebook presence has grown, and what we're allowed to do with the filming, we're getting invited to more and more places. We're doing promotional posters, video teasers, and we stand up a lot of Facebook pages for the pole venue as well. So you guys know this, obviously, so you can tag yourself when you go to an event, and you can share it with other people. But also, it allows promoters to get a good sense of who is coming. How many vendors do I need to have for food, for clothes, for merchandise, all that kind of stuff. So they can have a rough idea. Hey, I've got at least 500 people coming. I need to have one or two more vendors. So that's what we're hoping to do, is to reach out to more of the fans. And then with the footage, and you just mentioned this too, is we want to connect the fan to the puller. So we want to get out and do more interviews. And when we film at Tappahannock, we have the winners come back out onto the track, and we think that's huge, to get the vehicle out there, get the puller out there, get the family out there, the sponsor, whoever, and interview them for a few minutes so that they can congratulate their sponsors and all the crewmen and crew women who put these things together, and reward themselves when they win. So that's what we want to see happen.
Awesome. So we got your Facebook page up right now. We're showing everybody that's watching the show this whiskey business tractor. That is a beautiful, beautiful machine. Is that the limited pro that you told me about?
Yeah, it ran in the mod turbo.
Oh,
class,
mod turbo. That's right. You said mod turbo. Sorry.
That's right. Adam Diaz. I got to meet that fella and just talk about a wonderful guy. He actually allowed me to put one of my Ion cameras on there for the finals, and it didn't have the best run in the finals. I think he blew a turbo or something like that. But, we got that footage, and we'll release that at some point down the road here real soon. So we carried, I think we carried 10 cameras, and we got a whole bunch of in-cab footage on some of the trucks, and even some of the roll cage footage from some of the tractors in the finals. So it's good. We're still going through a lot of that footage now, but we try to do a lot of ride-on footage, and we'll sell 1 or 2 cameras a week to the pullers so they can keep them on their vehicle because they like that instant feedback as well.
No, that's good. That's really, really good. So tell me, what is your main stomping grounds in the summer then? Where do you see yourself being in 2017?
Well, I'll cover, last year I did 41 events. 3 of those were out in Gordyville. I guess I filmed several days out there. But I'll go, I didn't go to Gordyville this year. I might go back next year, but we're kicking around the idea of going to Ocala, Florida, this coming winter.
Yeah.
But I'll get down to Benson. I've been invited to come down to Pine Tops. I might do that. I got to look at the schedule. And then I'll film mainly about 25 to 30 events in Virginia, a few in Pennsylvania. I want to get down to Maryland a little bit more. I got a buddy who wants me to come up and film his event, but we've always had scheduling conflicts and stuff. And when you're filming 40 events, that's easy. That's easy to do. So,
no, absolutely. Yeah, Ryan films for Clint Tucker all summer long, and for all of his DVDs and different things. I can go into polls all over. So Ryan was just giggling when you were talking about all that. So
yeah.
So what did you do at Keystone then? Like, who was filming? I know was the Polling Radio Network. I think I talked to Eric Pruitt, and he said they were working with Wysong to film that, to do it on the live stream, or is that true? Is that how all that went down out there?
Yeah, Josh from NTPA group was
Josh Steinmetz, right? The really big kid.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I don't care. He's a
when
big
you're
kid.
my size, you don't go knocking on anybody else.
Okay,
so,
yeah, well, that's all right. I mean, I'm 260. I'm 260-ish. I'm not.
I'm not pushing that,
Yeah.
but I feel pretty bad. I mean, I'm rocking the 195, but yeah, he does a great job, and I'm trying to work with him too, trying to figure out how he can get my stream for the May 13th event that they're going to be bringing their school board down for.
Okay.
So, yeah. The Polling Radio Network, they do a great job with that show, and I heard a lot of people watching it, and I don't know the total numbers, but I'd be curious to know.
Yeah, I think this live stream is huge. Being part of it at Louisville and just having fans back home and texting you and different things like that, it was and a lot of pullers. I think it's the next step of the future, because I don't see polling getting on network TV, but I see streaming becoming a big thing. And just look like what Netflix has done and Amazon and all these different, these shows now. We don't have the cable TV as much. I think it's going to give us the reach. When you talk about social media reach and all the different things like that, I'm really excited about what live streaming can do. And I hope Keystone did really, really, really well, because Keystone's the biggest indoor poll on the East Coast, right? Because I really only know the Midwest polls. More than none. What kind of crowds do they have out there at Keystone?
It was eye opening, and the first night is probably the weakest night because everybody's still working and stuff like that. But,
I didn't even know it was happening Thursday night until Friday. I felt bad about that, but that's just how it goes. But I know it looked like they had big crowds Friday and Saturday. They
did. It was huge. I don't know. I could guesstimate somewhere between 4,000 to 5,000 people.
Great.
Both of those nights, but it's a lot of iron that I don't normally see. Obviously, you guys might see it a little bit more, but obviously you run 4-1. But I don't film the super stocks and multi-engine modifieds much. So for me, it gives me a shot to film things a little bit faster than normal, because most of my vehicles, they top out about 35 miles per hour going on the track. If you get some of those super stocks, they hum down the track, and it's amazing. And so that gives the fans, obviously from Virginia and North Carolina, to see some of those bigger vehicles that they don't see a lot. So
yeah.
it is a huge event.
Joel Davis commented. He said Saturday finals was sold out. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and they do a great job with their ticketing system, so that they have reserve seating and all that stuff. And I think it makes all the difference in the world. And I do know, I know certain fans that follow me. They're truck guys. So when the tractors are running, they're going to eat, and then when they'll come back and then they'll watch the trucks. And then I know tractor guys. They'll do the exact same way. They'll watch the tractors, and then when the trucks come up, they'll go and get their bathroom breaks and stuff, and get their souvenirs. And you're not going to please everybody,
nope.
But I will tell you, I saw a lot of people who were there playing it the whole time, and that's what I always look for when I see a poll. who's moving, who's sitting, who are my dedicated fans, that kind of thing.
Yep. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, anything else we want to talk about tonight before we get going?
Yeah, let's see. I have a couple of events that I'm promoting. The May 13th event, it's an NTPA regional. It's the first time we're doing something like that in Tappahannock, and that's going to be a lot. We're going to have some mini modified NTPA light pro stocks, and we're going to have the super modified two-wheel drives and the modified four-wheel drives. And I counted there's 12 in somewhat like a 20-mile radius to Tappahannock. So we're going to have a lot of truck action there and a lot of tractor action that the people of Tappahannock don't really get to see. So it's going to be a huge event, I think, for the region. But hopefully it'll be great for the NTPA. They'll want to do more in our area as well.
Is that a Region 5 event, Will?
I believe
Region
4.
6.
Oh, no, yeah,
6 or 4.
6 or 4?
Yeah,
okay.
4. So Region 4. But yeah, it's huge. And like I said, I like working with the NTPA guys. They're technically they're the best. And so I try to match my skill sets up to theirs, and it's falling short, but we're getting there. But I have some help coming. I have some boys that are ready to start filming themselves and getting out there and mounting cameras and things like that. So I'm excited what the future holds for us as we grow too. And we've been doing this 5 years now, and so as we're entering our 5th year, we're excited that we can start doing more of the things that you were just talking about with Joe. Interviewing people, getting them on camera so that the fans can start connecting with them, telling them to create their Facebook pages and reshare YouTube videos that they're in and share photos, just so that fans have a way of connecting with the polar. And I think that's been missed a lot because they can't pick up sponsors because they don't have any place to send them, or hey, go check these videos out on my Facebook page. It should be everywhere. It should be on your polar card. It should be on your T-shirt. It should be on your hauler. It should be everywhere. So that's that kind of awareness is what I'm trying to raise at the level that I get to meet all of the polars that I get to be around. So.
Awesome. No, you're spot on with what you need to do. Ray from the Pulling Radio Network said there was 12 states represented and 2 Canadian provinces at Keystone last weekend. So that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was hoping a little bit better for the Bad Kitty guys. I mean, I really do like this. I like that AGCO tractor.
Well, everybody likes the sound of a V8 Pro Stock. So.
Oh my gosh,
that's the coolest
amazing.
sound in the world.
I wanted it to get really red as opposed to pink.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, I like that one, and I like some of the other bigger ones that I don't get to see too much.
No, that's good. So what else is going on in Will's life before we let you go tonight, bud?
No, that's just it. I was promoting the Williamson poll. I think we've raised about $150 for that Shriners Children's Hospital thing that we were doing with Big Daddy Motorsports back in January. So we've got a couple $100 that we're going to cut a check and send their way, hopefully help them out a little bit. But that was good, and thanks for sharing me and telling everybody what we're doing, because we were giving 10 cents out for every subscription on YouTube. And I think we're doing 33% of our proceeds of the DVD programs from that event. And we were also doing 50% of our proceeds from YouTube going toward that event and those videos as well. So just something trying to help out. And I think it raised like a couple $100. So I'm tickled pink.
It all helps.
To death. It might not be that much.
No, it all helps. It all helps, Will.
Every little bit helps. And if I can do something at that level, anyone can do something and just say, hey, look, I'm putting this out there. Share it with all your friends and, polars and things like that and see what happens, because you never know.
Yep. No, great. So, hey, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be talking to you a lot more, obviously, here coming up soon, hopefully when you get your show going and we're working on things.
Yeah, definitely. I'm shooting for the same time as your channel on Wednesday night. So,
okay.
We'll do it at 8 Eastern, 7 Central Time. Is that the way that works, I think?
Yep, it does. Yep, you're an hour ahead of us, so.
Yeah, that's right. I always forget.
I just believe I'm so happy that more and more people are getting involved in promoting, because there can never be enough of us to promote all this, and everybody kind of has their loyal fan base and different things like that, and that's why I'm glad that you're coming on board with us to help us out and to help us, that reach that area of the world that we don't get into. And That's because it's hard. Like you said, I got a full-time job too. Nobody thinks I actually work, Will, but I actually do work every day. So.
Right. So no, everybody thinks that the money's just going to pour in because you do a talk show or something like
right.
that.
Right.
That's
Yep. Absolutely.
More photographers make $100,000. That's just not the good ones. I'm sure do, but I make more off the promotion than I do off actually getting paid to take photos and film and stuff like that. So.
Yep.
We're going to have Brandon Smoot coming on with his Dirty Deeds 4x4. He's actually not going to bring the 4x4 on, but he's going to call in. And we're going to try to get Matt Smith. I gotta work with him a little bit more and talk to him. And he's he drives the Fast Forward New Holland.
Okay.
7700
Yep.
light limited class. He goes out to Gloryville. So we're going to try to get him. We're going to try to get a few more. We're going to talk next couple of days, get a few more people lined up. But like I said, introduction show, just want to test everything out and get everybody acclimated with what kind of questions we're going to be asking them and things like that, and promote.
Yep, that's what I do. I mean, I just think the more fans that see how great pulling is, the better chance we have to put them into a seat at an event and then attracting bigger sponsors into the sport. It takes time, and at the end of the day, pullers are going to find a way to pull if they want to pull, whether they have a sponsor or not. But it really would be nice to have a good points fund for them at the end of the year, or a bigger payback, at different events for pullers like that, to let them know we appreciate them. So.
Yeah, definitely. And, I tell pullers that all the time. Hey, look, it's not about building the vehicle. It's also about building that purse fund so that when you do win it, there's actually something in it for you. So hopefully that thought will stick with them, and they'll be able to, get the word out when they're talking to their suppliers and people that they deal with as well. So it's just a mindset change,
Awesome. Well, Will, we're going to let you go. We're going to call the Gabe from ABAC College there. They got their pull in Tifton, Georgia coming up in a couple weeks, and I want to give him a chance to talk about that. So stay in touch, Will, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. You got it.
Yep, take care, bud. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was Will Whitt there from Will Whitt Productions, and like I said, met him at Gordyville last year and just get a chance. And I've been talking about doing a show. We're trying to get some shows. Brandon's doing his video show at 8:00 Central on Thursday nights, different things like that, and he does a nice job in that. And I think people really enjoy that. And honestly, that gets that reaches more people, the video show does, than you and I sitting here talking. But people love video, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, and we also, bring in a different fan base as well, with Will going to do what he's going to do out in that Virginia area. So we're going to call Gabe right now, Gabe Strother from Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. And he's going to tell us about their poll coming up here March 23rd through 25th. So it's 9:00. I hope he's not in bed already. Not his time.
Hello?
Gabe.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Jason Schultz with the Beer Money Polling Team. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How about you?
Good. Hey, we were talking to Joe Eder, and he's a legend in the sport. He had a great interview, so we went a little longer than I planned, so I pushed you back about 10 minutes. I hope you'll still talk to me.
Oh, that's fine.
All right. Well, so we're live right now on Facebook at the Beer Money Polling Team Facebook page. We're talking with Gabe Strother, Strother. Am I saying your last name right, Strother?
That's right.
Awesome. So you go to Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, correct? You're a student there?
That's right.
Okay. Can you tell us about your school and what it does?
ABAC it's an older agricultural school. It's like I said, it dates back in the AET. It's one of the older clubs in that school. Like I said, we do everything from farming, what most folks think of as farming and row cropping, all the way up to modern day engineering, and then forestry, and there's also a big nursing program and everything as well.
Pulling tractor, the Altered Alice, correct?
That's right.
Okay, so who gets to drive the tractor? That's what I want to know.
The AET advisors do that.
The advisors do that. So the kids work on it, and then the advisors drive it? Is that how that works?
That's right. Like I said, it's kind of a liability thing, but like I said, the students get to learn a lot working on the tractors. The advisors lend us some guidance, keeping us straight working on them, and then they run them down the track, and we help diagnose any problems and provide a solution to those problems.
Awesome. So tell us about your poll you got coming up on March 23rd, 24th, and 25th in Tifton, Georgia.
That's right. Got it's a 3-night pool. The first night will be an amateur night where anybody that feels they want to hook to the sled and test what they got, free too. That night is $5 a person admission. Kids and 5 and under are free. The 24th and 25th are our Southern Pullers Association sanctioned pool. Adults are $15 a person. Kids 6 to 10 are $10. 5 and under are free. And any ABAC student with a current ID is $10. They get in for the kid price. Like I said, that night, that is a sanctioned pool. These are professional guys. They're some of the big rigs. We have a lot of trucks, 4-wheel-drive trucks come in with blown motors, as well as the diesel tractors. Also, that also will be running that night, or both nights. We also offer trackside parking, where you can back your truck up to the fence and see the action up close from the comfort of your pickup. It's $50 a night when the driver gets in free.
Okay. So what else? What else is happening out there then those 3 days? Is it still with the Southern Pullers Association? Are they the ones that help out on Saturday night?
That's right. Friday and Saturday night both. It's going to be Southern Pullers Association.
Okay. We're looking for your. Do you guys have an event Facebook page or a Facebook page we could share while we're talking to you?
We do. It's ABAC AET Truck and Tractor Pool.
Yeah, it says October 7th and October 8th on it. That's the one we're looking at. Okay. We must have found the wrong one.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a weird one floating around. We have to check on that and make sure we get it updated. I apologize for that.
No, that's okay. I just want to be able to share with the fans while we're talking to you what we're talking about. So, but it is a great picture of the altered Alice on top there. That's the Dolman family's tractor, right? That's the old Hurricane Alice. Is that right?
The sheet metal on that tractor is off of the old Hurricane Alice.
Yep.
You can actually still see where on that tractor the exhaust came out of the side of the hood instead of on top, and you can actually, from the inside, you can still see where we had to put a fiberglass patch over that.
Yep. Todd Doman's comment right now, and he is the family of the Hurricane Alice, so he was pretty proud. He's a good friend of mine and of the Beer Money Pulling team, and he was really, really proud where that sheet metal ended up. So how long of a do you go to school for 2 years? Is it 4 years? I mean, how long is your program at ABAC?
The ag engineering, we're currently working towards expanding this degree a little bit. Right now we have a 2-year in the actual ag engineering. And then, like I said, the ABAC also offers several 4-year degrees, as well as a few 2-year degrees that are ready to move on towards other schools, such as that.
That's awesome. That's very, very awesome. So what will you be doing? Like, what's your role at the tractor pull in 2 weeks? What will you be doing?
Usually I wind up being I was the president last year, and I've been usually one of the head ones that kind of works on the tractor and tries to fill in the gaps, if you will. So that's usually my job is kind of filling in the gaps there and trying to help everything run smooth.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's great. So what else do you want fans to know about your poll coming up here in a couple weeks?
What's that?
What are some other things that you want fans to know about that we haven't touched on, if anything?
Probably one of the biggest things is Saturday, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll Holloway Truck and Off-Road Accessories will be hosting a dyno event down at the ABAC pool track. It's $80 a run, and if I'm not mistaken, you get 3 passes. And it'll tell you what kind of horsepower, what kind of peak torque you're pushing. And that's something anybody can come do.
Yeah, no, that's great, and it's important to have that. So, and I know you said you have diesel trucks pulling as well. So, is Saturday night your big night, or is Friday and Saturday the kind of equal nights, or what do you usually have? What do you see for a crowd?
Usually, we see the bigger crowd on Saturday nights, just because it's seems to be easier for people to get off work and such to attend. But as far as the pool itself goes, Friday and Saturday night are equal. The pool order will be swapped around a little bit, and these guys are trying to beat each other from the previous pools. They've tuned up on the engines a little bit, and they'll run again, trying for that last inch.
Yep. No, that's great. That's great. So, hey, Gabe, thanks for joining us tonight. And if you could, we found your poster now. We're sharing that on Facebook right now. and I'll print that off and I'll get that up on our Facebook page for you these next couple weeks, and we'll share that a whole bunch. So thank you for coming on tonight. Good luck with everything, and thank you for rocking the Altered Allers. It's a good looking tractor, bud.
Yes, sir. Well, we sure do appreciate y'all.
Hey, we appreciate you. You take care.
All right, y'all as well.
Yeah, bye-bye, Gabe.
Bye-bye.
So what a show tonight, Mr. Zolik. We had Joe Eder come on, and that was a great interview. Like I said, the only unfortunate thing about Joe's interview was I guess his phone kind of cut in and out. I'm guessing just maybe reception might have been in the shop or something like that. And you know how metal buildings affect your cell phone signal. But still, we had a lot of positive comments on there, and we'll get this shared out. And then talking to Will Whitt a little bit, and you can see he's another promoter out there just trying to help grow the sport and does a good job with his YouTube channel. And like I said, there's room for many, many people to help us out there. And it sounds like he's going to be having his own show, and I've been willing to help him out with that. And I think he can put that up on the Beer Money Pulling Team Facebook page for him on Wednesday nights. And then Brandon's doing the video show on Thursday nights. And there's a ton of podcasts now out there and all the different things. That's what's great about a podcast. You can listen to them at any time. We have a lot of people who actually listen and watch Let's Grow Pulling. They listen to it, they put YouTube on or they put Facebook up, and I always try to put a link on pulloff.com, and not everybody always catches the live show, you know what I mean, because they're busy, but they can listen to those at any time. I listen to sports podcasts all the time.
Yeah, they might have this in the background, and they'll go back and listen to it maybe when they have a few hours to just kind of kill, and I know... of course, we have our super fans out there as well that tune in every week.
It's great to see Andrew Armstead. He is a really good friend of ours, and he hosts a Sidetrack show on the Pulling Radio Network, and he's going to be announcing Motorsports Mayhem May 13th. And
it's crazy away. We're only 2 months away.
2 months away, and then Will was talking about his event in Virginia, and that's the thing. There is so much more pulling going on than I even ever realized until I really started digging into it a little bit more. And like I said, I felt so bad that I didn't even know Keystone was happening on Thursday night. Not that I was busy with work, and you get home at 6:30 at night, and you just do your thing.
Yeah, and they're an hour ahead of us to begin with, so they've actually already started pulling by the time we both got home.
Yeah, but it takes an army of people, and we couldn't be the Beer Money Pulling Team on the social media side of it without you and what Brandon and Ryan Rusink starting to help step up more and do more.
I believe it was the week, like Tuesday or Wednesday, I seen the post on Pull Off and on Fonda's message board that they got the live stream going.
Yeah, that live stream, I still want to know more about the live stream. I don't want to do I don't want to get involved in live streaming, but I want to promote it more. And there are a lot of promoters that want to know how to live stream their event, Ryan, because I think and I don't know I don't think you live stream a brush pull. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I mean, if you have big followers, but if you can watch Louisville, at that quality, and I got my DVD, and again, Ray talked on earlier that you can buy the Keystone DVDs now.
It's working the same way as what they did in Louisville and what NTPA does, where you can actually go back now, buy the whole week for I think it was $40 for the Keystone for all sessions, and then get it for a year.
Yep. So I met Josh Steinmetz, the big guy. I'm going to refer to him as a big guy because he's a big dude, but he's a good big dude.
Yeah, if you see him at an NTPA event, you're not going to miss him.
You're going to recognize him. I met him at Toma, and then I saw him at Bowling Green last year, and he did a nice job. And I know it's Roger Weissong in that group that does RFD TV and different things like that. So really, really excited. So big news. Oh, it's Eric Pruitt saying big news coming in just a few minutes for the second annual Smoky Mountain Shootout. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that will be coming up. I don't know if that's this upcoming weekend or if it's the same as the Cornhusker.
Eric posted it on his live stream them all. Just ask. Ooh, I want to read that comment quick. If they're saying live stream them all, we can stream anywhere, anytime. So the Pulling Radio Network step in that game.
As long as you had the broadband to do it.
Yeah, you want to bring the Smoky Mountain Shootout over?
Sure.
Onto our screen there. We talked. Now the guys that we talked to that put on Lexington are the same ones that put on this one, right?
I believe so. Yes, the TNT
guys.
Motorsports.
TNT, yep, that's right. I think so. We talked to them. We interviewed them back in early January before Gordyville. So here's the Smoky Mountain Shootout, March 24th. Yep, it's the same weekend as Cornhusker. Yep. And again, this is cool because you got something going on in the East and you got something going on in the Midwest and Nebraska. That's what makes the sport great. And it takes so many people to be covering all this. So really, really excited to be to help out with all this and keep sharing and promoting more pulling. So, yeah, I mean, if you can live stream and somebody's going to pay you to TNT Motorsports, yes. If you can pay somebody, I guess, how much does it cost to live stream and do the Angel Fire? That's just their website.
Yep.
How much does it cost to do all that stuff? That's what I don't know. We're going to talk to the Pulling Radio Network guys more if they're going to be stepping up and providing that as a service. That's going to be something we got to let people know. So because we tried to live stream Motorsports Mayhem last year because I was still working with the Pulling Radio Network on a regular basis, and Ray wanted me to try to do that, and we just didn't have the broadband, right?
Yep, and it was just me, so it was a one-man show versus...
You mean you're just a one-man band, Ryan?
I was trying. And, they had 2 camera angles at the Keystone Nationals. So, yeah, I don't know if one was stationary and then they had one that was mobile or if they had 2 people operating. Plus, you had a switcher. They were putting up the graphics with the pulling difference. So, there was a person there. There's probably someone monitoring the website itself to make sure... if people are having issues, the email in. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff when you have that type of production, because you want to make it quality because people are obviously paying their money, and you want to make it a great
Keystone
show.
Was very affordable.
Yes.
I mean, you can say, it was Louisville, they basically charged their ticket prices, right? $40?
Correct. It was $100 for all sessions.
For Louisville. Okay. And it was only $40 for all Keystone, so that's a great deal.
Yeah.
And you're seeing quality iron there as well. So Ray saying 3 camera angles, so that's very good. But anyway, all in all, it was very, very, very good weekend. What a great show tonight.
They probably had a slight cam too, I would imagine.
Sure. And I want to thank Marty Wilson again for getting us in touch with Joe Eder. What a great interview that was. And then we talked to Will Whitt, and we just got off the phone with our buddy Gabe from ABAC College down there. So that was really, really neat. So we're kind of getting some new guests on for next week. We'll be talking some Cornhusker Classic for sure next week. Maybe talk a little the poll that Eric just talked about, the Smoky Shootout. I know I try to keep an eye on what Brian Lively's doing too because I'm not into the antique world.
Yeah, he was up in North or South Dakota last week live streaming, and I don't know if you've seen the sled they were using there. It was quite the setup. Yeah, so that was interesting.
Sidetrack does it 3 cameras, 2 camera guys, and 1 running everything. I guess they're superstars. So I just want Andrew to know that I went up into the announcer stand yesterday at the fairgrounds. His empty Budweiser cans are still up there. I got to teach him to clean up after himself. Sigourney, Iowa this weekend. That's a big one. And the antique pole. That's about 30 minutes where I grew up.
Antique track, the NATPA.
NATPA.
Is that what?
I think so. Drew will say something here in a little bit. So give that 15-second delay.
And I believe Brian will be covering it. I don't know if he's going to be there. Or he has someone there covering it. He did say on his posts. And
Drew's going to be there. Okay, cool. Well, that's not too far from here even. So, well, anyway, let's get. It is not NTP. Nope. Okay. Well, Drew knows all this stuff. So, but anyway, I just want to thank our sponsors again of Let's Grow Pulling, Joe Bush Ag Repair, Fair Valley Performance, Illini State Pullers, Hawthorne Tire, the ITPA, the Illinois Tractor Pulling Association, and Showdown in Kurdtown in Ellsworth, Wisconsin. So you see, and Waterstone Mortgage. Anybody out there need a mortage? I'm your guy.
Yeah, you can't forget that.
I almost forgot. I need my real job so I can pay for my pulling tractor. That's without these sponsors, we really appreciate them, stepping up the plate, and we share a lot of their stuff, and that's part of it, the sharing and the caring and the growing and everything we do. But just really proud of everybody in this industry that we all spend a lot of our own time and money, the Pulling Radio Network and Miles and his brother Jeremy and us.
Of course, now the organizations
and all the organizations
really starting to step up on their social media.
I feel like it's growing, and it's good to have there's a lot of ideas out there, and we're sharing our ideas amongst each other and just different things like that. So kudos to everybody. I hope they keep the passion up because it does. And there are times, Ryan, I'm just tired. I know you are too. Just editing videos. If people knew how much time it took to even run a Facebook page, and keep it up like it needs to be, and to keep the likes up there and different things like that. So, but hey, it's what we love to do. Sometimes we have to take a nap.
Yep. Right now is the time to take a nap because in a couple months
somebody that said 10,000 miles on my car each summer. It's probably Brandon.
Yeah, well, I know. Sure. I got my car last April, and I put almost 40,000 miles on it, and I haven't hit the 1 year mark. So
yeah, so I mean the fans are just as passionate as the pullers are themselves. So good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. We had a lot of good comments tonight, and we'll see you next week. Take care.